Welcome back to another edition of the Optimized Weekly Market Recap. I'm David Ferreira, Portfolio Manager with Optimized Wealth Management. And as always for today's recap, we'll take a look at last week's activity in the markets, as well as what we're watching for in the week ahead. This week, the Fed made its first rate cut since 2020, leading to multiple sectors showing strong performance. As such, the Dow Jones was the week's best performer, up 1.62%. The Nasdaq was up nearly 1.5% on the week. The S&P was up 1.36%, and the TSX finished the week up 1.27%. Zooming in on sector performance, financials and energy were the best performers, while real estate and staples lagged by the most. Looking at the events from this past week, on Wednesday, the Federal Reserve lowered the Fed funds rate by 50 basis points, bringing the target down to 5%. This is the first rate cut since March of 2020, and while a rate reduction was widely expected, many analysts had predicted a more modest 25 basis point cut. In their statement, the Fed indicated they plan to reduce rates 2 more times this year, and the move is aimed at stimulating economic activity and curbing inflation, as lower borrowing costs are expected to make financing more accessible for both consumers and businesses. On Tuesday, the retail sales report in the U.S. highlighted that U.S. retail sales edged up 0.1% in August, beating the expected 0.2% decline. This data signals that consumer spending still remains relatively strong, underlying the strength of the U.S. consumer. The latest Canadian inflation print came in cooler than expected at 2%, hitting the Bank of Canada's target for the first time in more than 3 years. Bank of Canada has indicated that more rate cuts are likely on the way, and the central bank is open to the possibility of a 50 basis point cut should inflation cool more than expected. For the week ahead, on Thursday, Fed Chair Jerome Powell holds his first press conference since the U.S. Fed cut interest rates. He'll provide critical insight into the Fed's monetary policy, including inflation trends and the recent labor market data releases. The latest U.S. core PCE price index reading is due on Friday. As the Fed's preferred inflation gauge, the markets will be watching the figure for hints on the Fed's rate cut path. And on Friday, in Canada, GDP growth for the month of July is due, along with the preliminary figure for August. Looking at corporate earnings calendar, notable companies reporting financial results this week include Costco, AutoZone, and Sherwin-Williams. And that's all for this week's edition of the Weekly Market Recap. As always, thank you for watching and see you next week.